Uh-oh. What was that? What up, Internet? What's going on? It's a Friday. Friday. Oh, it's Friday. I'll scare your dog. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. How you doing? What's going on? I don't know if anybody looking around in the background here. Check out this little guy. Little Lammy McLammerton. Whoa. Loving that little lamb stuff. Got a bunch of little baby stuff going on in the background. I don't know if anybody's been noticing that. But we got a baby. And, yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Just stuff moving around in the background. Slowly but surely, the new office will get crafted by yours truly. But, man, let's be honest here. I'm having to catch up on work, you know. We have a new baby. We've been busy. And, you know, I had to take some time off. Got to take some time off because you got to do that. And I have no idea how it's going to keep rocking and rolling as time goes on, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. And do my best to show up for you guys as best I can and continue to put out fish tankery nonsense, you know, the kind of nonsense you come to rely on as an oceaneer out there doing oceaneer type stuff. Happy to say we got our baby checked out today. Olympia Jean is her name, if y'all are still wondering. Whilst I toothpick while we're live, which of course will drive somebody nuts out there. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you got a toothpick in your mouth? That's disgusting." Well, it's better than it's better than having this in my mouth while I'm on the microphone. So let's just tone it down there, cranky people out there in the world. Yeah, I got a toothpick in my mouth because I got to chew on a toothpick whilst I live stream. That's what happens, and it's all good. Frank Dominguez first to the chat, quickly followed by Richards Tanks, 54 Punchy, Rum Bust, Aquatic Jack, John Gonzalez, M. Howie 9, Rocky's Rocky, Uv Deloriac Peterson, Matt Sorelli, Joel Gillett from New Zealand, RNH2O, Gone Mad is here, Caleb Hanna. Oh, and you guys, we have to have a sad moment of remembrance to Eric Gone Mad. He doesn't want to be a moderator anymore. We've unmoderated him. He doesn't want to be it anymore. So it's a sad day, but it's a day nonetheless. Hey, we still love you and we still want you to be here. So we'll see you when we see you, and you don't have to have the pressure of being a moderator anymore. And, you know, it's just funner that way, right? Alexandra Carrier is here, says, "Hey, can a bristlenose pleco go in a 10-gallon? Heard so many differing opinions." Yeah, bristlenose can. I wouldn't keep one in it forever. You know, I wouldn't consider that like a forever home, but little bristlenose, you can definitely raise them up in a 10-gallon. I've never had a problem with that. It does take quite a long time for them to get big, but bear in mind they will breed. So if you have a male and a female and you have good water conditions, then you should realistically be fine. I wouldn't be that stressed out about bristlenose being in a 10-gallon. Just keep your water clean and you'll be fine. They're not a big free swimmer. Obviously, they're a little pleco. They're going to be doing that little pleco mouth thing on stuff, and I've never really noticed them freak out about being in a little bit of a smaller, you know, tank. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Bye, little Sebastian. Wait, who's Sebastian? Sebastian, say my name. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. That one's deep. That one's deep in the annals. End song is here. Just received some Christmas moss from Green Thumbscapers. I saw from your video. Right on. That is awesome. Mad props to those guys. I don't have any affiliation with them other than I ordered some products from them and I follow them on Instagram and stuff like that. I love their work. Highly recommend anybody to give them a follow if that's something you want to do. They definitely do some really cool projects. I appreciate their style, and I took a chance and I say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna order some plants from these guys because I know that they're pretty good, and I want to see how they would get here. And they came in great. Came in fantastic. Definitely loved it. Licks Nibbles got Never Ending Story. Nice work. Just immediately. Oh, we got actually people know the Never Ending Story. Oh, wow. That is good. I like that. Good job, you guys. I don't know if they're ever going to remake that movie, but I kind of hope that they don't. Because it's just so good. It's so good anyhow. So, let's see here. Mark was asking. Mark Dibble was saying, how similar is RO and distilled water? They're pretty similar. Pretty darn close. I mean, distilled water. Let me double check the regular processing these days on distilled water. Let me just do a quick, because I want to make sure that I'm right here. Distilled water is water that's been boiled in vapor. Okay, good. Yeah, I just want. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately, you guys. Come on. But yeah, distilled water is boiled. The vapor is, trapped and brought back down. And distilled water would essentially be almost the same thing as almost the exact same thing that RO water would. They're basically exactly the same. If RO water is 100% filtered, right, and that's what distilled water is supposed to be. The only downside with that is that a lot of distilled water has something weird about the ionization in it, or something like that. That kind of escapes my mind right now. That distilled water is not the greatest choice. It's why most people do RO, is because there's something with it, and I can't remember exactly what it is. And I don't want to be blowing smoke, but there's something about it that it's not a great idea long term. And like I said, I think it has something to do with the ion charge or something weird like that. I forget, but check back with me on Monday. I'll scour through some old computer notes here and see if I can summon it up other than going from my mind. And the main reason for that is it's been many, many years since distilled water seemed like an option. You know what I mean? So I would just it's not something that's like been in the forefront of my mind for very long. But yeah, if you're talking about in a pinch, that might work pretty good. But personally, I would look into getting an RO unit. I was actually researching some of the units that I've utilized over the years, and actually came up. Where is it? Of course, for whatever reason, this one isn't. Oh, here we go. There's the link. Yeah. So I actually got a link right here that I've actually used these. I used these units for a long time in restaurants. That's an Amazon link there. If you don't want to go to Amazon, don't click that link, but it'll take you over to look at some of the old RO units that I used to utilize in restaurants. We actually use these brand mainly because they're foolproof. Like, you really can't mess these up unless you're just like a real humdinger. You know what I mean? One of the reasons we had these like this was because they're color coded. Each filter only screws into the correct filter housing. They're really easy to use, and they're pretty affordable, realistically. So if you're looking for something like that, that's just a water filtration kind of deal, these would probably be a pretty good option. Like, for instance, if you have like kids around the house, stuff like that, that may or may not be messing with things, or, you know, they kind of seem to be the best. And one of the reasons we use these for, we just use the larger version of these in the restaurants. Exact same thing, just the filter is longer. It's just a longer use filter. We use these mainly for, you know, the heavy duty ice machines, the crazy big coffee makers, espresso, all that. Just a bunch of stuff is needed in, you know, good restaurants. I mean, I'm not talking about, oh, I don't want to name anybody specifically, but you get what I mean. Like Burger King, you know, they don't necessarily have that. But there's a lot of stuff that equipment in restaurants and things is pretty required to use filtered water. And we use these because really untrained people, we're going to be utilizing them on a fairly regular basis. And they're color coded too. So it's like, even like maybe you can't read at all. You could, the red one goes with the red one. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So, and I utilize these for a long, long time, and they work pretty great. And it's really difficult to hook these up wrong. You know what I mean? So you could definitely look into that. It's about $100. That's not crazy. Each little filter cartridge in it is, I don't know, somewhere around like $20 or whatever it is for them. You know, I don't really want to, let me see. I mean, there's a 4-pack of them right there. That's $30. So $7.50 a piece. The one that's expensive is going to be the RO membrane, but that one is also going to be the one that lasts the longest. So, and they have like modular systems that you can add a whole bunch of stuff to them. So that's why I would recommend those ones pretty much for anybody. Just a lot of upside with those that's pretty easy to manage for a regular old person. Andrew J says, any tricks for scraping silicone residue off of aquarium glass? Warm it up. Warm it up, buddy. You know, if you're trying to scrape silicone off of glass and it's cold, you will have a lot of problems. I normally would heat it up with a torch because I'm kind of a maniac. But there are other ways like acetone and things like that. But I try to skip chemicals you know, on purpose because it's just that off time that you don't really think about cleaning it off, and then the next thing you know, oops, got some weird chemical in there, and that's not going to be the greatest thing. Alexander Carrier, I have never been able to keep guppies alive. I tried so many things. I don't know. Typically, the downside with trying to keep guppies alive is that you probably have a lot of mineral deficiencies. Almost always the problem with people that are like, oh, man, like, I can't keep my guppies alive. They're not breeding. They're not doing this. It's almost always a mineral deficiency. So check your water. Make sure that's make sure you got that a good amount of minerals going on. Not super crazy or anything like that. But I would definitely you know, double check and make sure that you have enough minerals for them. They are a fish that does need some slight amendments to the water. I'm not talking about like Lake Tanganyika crazy or anything like that, but you do need a little bit. You do need a little bit out there. Aquaballs is here asking, "Hello guys, how's your favorite fish food? Or what's your favorite fish food?" I have to be honest with you guys. I'm using a lot of Sarah these days, like this GVG mix treat mix. This one is pretty good. I definitely am using the ONIP tabs a lot. I still haven't gotten to using this shrimp one yet, and the main reason for that is I have so much shrimp food. There's never been a necessity for me to even try this one out yet. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, so I couldn't really tell you on that one. But the other types of food that I use are New Life Spectrum. I use a bunch of their stuff. Rapashi, I use a lot of Rapashi. Some Shrimp King food whenever I can get a hold of it. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the deal. So, and then I use a lot of different kinds of food, and the reason for that is just like humans, you know, you need a good varied diet with your fish to make sure that they're doing well. You know, you can't just give them one thing and hope for the best, you know. We got a super chat here from the Zombie Drummer of $8.58, and I'm always confused by the amount or what it is. Same with Rumbust here. We got the Swedish Crones 1648, and I have no idea about the numbers on that one either. And Chad Krotz with the $5 for Friday. That's a $5 for Friday super chat. Well, thanks, guys. So, as you guys know, we kind of warm it up here at the beginning of the show. We answer some questions. We talk to people a little bit of nonsense and that kind of stuff. Always great. Now, we're about 15 minutes in, and we got to do this part where we go, hey, man, don't forget, blah, 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 brought to you by you, blah, 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 blah. This is the one thing that drives everybody crazy. They're like, man, I don't understand why you got to promote your thing. Right? Like, here's the deal. If I don't, who's gonna? Is someone gonna, like, come on here and promote, like, for me? What? You know? Like, I understand the moderators post stuff into the chat, but it's like, nobody's gonna, like, you know, pay Google a whole bunch of money to put an ad up for to like try and get this show supported. So this show is supported by you guys by going to the Patreon. What's the Patreon? It's a third-party hosted site where we sort of crowdfund doing these projects, being able to do these live streams, go out and shoot stuff. I'm happy to say that a big thank you to everybody who has patronized up until this point. It's amazing. Thank you very much. And we're just going to keep this. We're just going to keep this going and going. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep rocking and rolling, doing what we're doing. And it's just mainly 100% brought to you by people like you. And if you're somebody who can't afford to do it, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about that, because that's not a big deal. Showing up here, watching the show, talking in the chat, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe, hitting the share, all that stuff is free, and that's a great way to support also. So I'm never holding anybody over a barrel and being like, I gotta shake some change out of your pockets. You know what I mean? It's not all about that, right? That's not what it's all about. And if you are somebody who is posting in the chat and maybe you haven't gotten your question answered or something like that, there is a free email that you can email, right? And that's joel@darkstararts.com. Sometimes I miss people's emails, and I am desperately sorry about that. That's just one of the facts of life sometimes, and it's never intentional. It's never intentional, but that is a free way to communicate with me, or you can always just leave a comment down below, and let's be done talking about self-promotion, right? Let's move on. Now, we all sat through all that nonsense, so we might as well sit through a video. Oh, that's not the video. I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. There's the video. Sometimes I push the wrong buttons, you guys. I'm the only one here. It's just me and Vicky and Olivia and Grandma and I'm the only one here. They don't ever come and help me push buttons, though. You know what I mean? Maybe someday my lovely daughter will be the new co-host, but we're gonna have to wait. Because right now, she's not very much of a conversationalist, if you know what I mean. She just kind of does the old looky-loo. You know? Sometimes poops. But, hey, you know, I know that everybody loves hearing a little updates on the baby. I will remind everybody, we had another lovely doctor's appointment today. Everything is going awesome. We did have a slight brush with some jaundice, that they thought that she might have some jaundice or whatever, but turned that around right quick and not a big deal. So everything is hunky-dory at this point, and healthy baby, and I love her a lot. And I'm super happy about being a dad, you know. Maybe if it was some other, like, chick, like, lady that I had a kid with, maybe I wouldn't be excited about it. But I'm super happy to be a parent with Victoria. It is, it's great. I couldn't ask for more. If I did ask for more, I'd be a super greedy douche or something. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, topping up on the top of the charts of the gratitude list, coming in at the top, Victoria and Olivia, my baby. Anyhow, As you guys know, we normally have some video segments and stuff like that, and we do have a little bit of a video segment running in the background today. It's basically just a little bit of trimming. L Flower 1 star says, what kind of plant are you trimming? Right now, in the video, right there, that super long plant that I am trimming is Pogostemon stellatus octopus. I got mine personally. I personally got mine from the Aquarium Co-op. I'm not saying that you got to get plants from the Aquarium Co-op or you don't got to get plants from the Aquarium Co-op. But I certainly do, and I certainly would if I was you. Now, if you guys don't know the Aquarium Co-op, I don't know if you've been living under a big pile of bricks or some kind of weird cave system where you're like, I came out for air once, and I'm freaking out. I don't know. But definitely go check out the Aquarium Co-op. His Black Friday sale lasts all month, and every week it's changing. It's an ever-changing sale so that you don't have to try and buy everything all in one big lump, purchase. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. You could go over there right now and check out. They have a filter sale with media. They have filter media, filters, sponge filters, pre-filters, all that kind of stuff on sale, 20% off with the code, and the moderators will post links into the chat. So if you're like, I don't know where I'm going, don't worry about it. The moderators will post links in there. And just remember, if you use our affiliate link, it just lets them know that we sent you, and it just helps them keep track of what's happening. And yes, I do get a little bit of a kickback, and if anybody doesn't like me getting a little bit of a kickback, then you could always just completely restart your computer, delete all the cookies out of it, and go that route, and then no one can get credit or whatever. That could be fine. You could do that if you like. Hello, Hanasuki is asking, what's the pokey looking plant in front of the octopus? There is nowhere you can get that online that I have ever seen. So, I haven't. Whoa, what happened? Whoa, that was crazy. All the windows closed. Oh, that is nuts. Sorry. I literally just... Oh, okay. Well, everything's still running, so that's not bad. But I literally just closed all of the windows, so I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, so I don't know anywhere where you could get that plant. But I will be doing a video about it in the future. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there is a because I have finally gotten it to grow correctly, and I will be posting a video on that. And as you can see, there's some little sprouts down below. That's because I've been propagating it and kind of making a little video about it. And I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just put it that way. I don't want to spoil it, but stay tuned to the channel, and you will get a little in depth about it. Let me see. Mark Dibble said, do Bioballs like to be alone, or are they social media? I don't really use Bioballs anymore. It's been many, many years since I've used Bioballs. I pretty much exclusively use ceramic media almost all the time now. They're just, realistically, there's just not a lot of upside to... There's not a lot of upside to a lot of the other medias out there that really equate appropriately in comparison to the ceramic, the ceramic media. And I can literally, hold on, I can get you guys a link if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about. And the reason that I'm gonna get the link is because that stuff is on sale. You just need to utilize the code. Hold on. I gotta generate the link, otherwise YouTube won't let me post it up in here. Okay, so there's the bio rings right there. Those are basically the ones I use. I just use the generic bio rings like that. They seem to, if I was to give them a grade out of 10, right? let's say I'd give them like an 8 or an 8.5 or something like that. They work really well. There are a couple little downsides to them, but not that big of a deal. Of whatever the downsides are, sort of negligible. But I do oxygenate my water pretty well and use the ceramic biorings. For the cost, it's way more effective. For what it actually does, it's way more effective, and I'm just happy with them. I can replicate success with them over and over and over again, and it's just not a problem. A lot of the natural products out there are kind of ridiculous. Either they're ridiculously priced, or they kind of don't work consistently. I know I've gotten a lot of hate mail and hate comments and all that kind of crazy stuff because I posted a video about Seachem Matrix, which I know a lot of people are just 100% Seachem fans, and I understand. I use a ton of their products too. But for what most of the comments that I have to deal with on that is that people are essentially just 100% loyal fanboy kind of nonsense where they're like, how dare you? Seachem provides a good product. And it's like, well, so you're talking about a chemical company that found an opportunity to utilize a natural product, pumice, right? Pack it into a small little bucket and sell it for a lot of money. You know, most companies do that. Most companies will take that opportunity. Does it work? Yes. Have I found it to work better than anything else? No, not at all. If anything, it works just the same. And it's a big mess. And I don't like a lot of the downsides of it are crazy. You know what I mean? Like the ceramic biorings, I shake them off real quick and it's fine. I can dump them in and use them forever, basically, because they're a kiln-fired product. It's like they don't have anything else weird on them when I get them. But one of those big issues that I got with the Matrix was a whole bunch of other rocks mixed in with it. So it's like I was paying for high-end pumice that was supposed to be, it's supposed to be separated. It's supposed to be like a magical, biological media. And it's essentially just nice pumice, which is, as I said in that video, which is a terrible video, I will admit, it's an awful video. It's like probably the worst videos I've ever seen. I could actually just go to the rock yard and get some of that. And, you could literally go on Amazon right now and order a giant bag of it. Hold on, let me see what I got. Let me see. Is it under, I gotta see which list it's under. It might be under that one. No. This one. Oh, it's, why would it be under the computer? It wouldn't be under the computer. Hold on, let me see. I gotta look this up. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So, and realistically, so here's the deal. A lot of people are like, dude, there's no way that you could go find that pumice. It's magic. It's magic pumice. Okay, here you go. This is the exact same pumice base, it's aquaponics grade pumice. It's not that big of a deal. This isn't necessarily the best price, but it's a big old bag of it for $65. Probably lasts somebody a really, 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 really long time. So it is pretty easy to find. I mean, you could even just go to Amazon and just order up a giant bag of it. And as I mentioned in that video, and I recently got somebody who was super mad at me. They're like, I can't go to my local rock yard and just find this. And I was like, did you even talk to anybody there? Did you ask the guys who run it, the owner or anything like that? Like, hey, could I get some of this pumice? Because they probably don't have it in big piles because they don't make driveways and stuff out of it. But if you went in there, I bet you could probably get them to order you up a bag or something like that if that's what you wanted. Anyhow, rant over. Sorry. Man, getting weird. It's getting weird in here, guys. Sorry about that. It's warm. It's really warm in here today. I got the door closed. So we have to lower our expectations because I might get a little ranty. And And, it's like I worked all day yesterday, and then probably didn't get a ton of sleep last night. Oh, man, I see River Life in the chat. What's up, my man? How you doing? Oh, I see Daryl Deemer. Oh, what's going on, guys? I'm trying to catch up with this chat a little bit here. Alcoballs, my local fish store, had some beautiful Amazon rainbows right now for $6.99. Ooh, that's not bad at all. I've got some new fish coming into the fish room, and I'm not afraid. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what they are, but I will tell you who I'm getting them from. I am getting them from Preston John, who is actually was in the chat, or maybe he's gone. I don't know, but I did see him post in the chat earlier that he'll see me tomorrow, which he will. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and covered in sawdust. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you then. So if you guys can figure out what Preston John does or has or whatnot, you guys will be able to figure out what I'm going to get coming into the fish room. And I have to admit, I'm very excited about it. I kind of pretty much just thrown away the idea that I would ever be able to get anything like this. So I'm very excited. And of course, it's probably going to be Monday's show. I think Monday's show, I'm going to be showing you guys all about that, all about what's going in. I will tell you they're going into the 240. So, and there will be multiple. And, man, I'm excited. Zach Denham says, what's the best CO2 setup to buy for a planted tank? I have the CO2 Art one, which I'm going to be I'm basically testing out. So I would say that one's pretty good. Oh, my God. What is this nonsense? Goodbye. Oops. Did I ban the right person? Oh, okay, good. Took a second to make sure that person was banned. Let's see here. Yeah, Dan, just ban that person permanently. Like, you can't have that username. How would even YouTube even let that happen? That's ridiculous. Let me see. Okay, got distracted. Oh, since we lost, I'm gonna do something here today on the fly during the deal. I'm gonna make Alyssa Bentley a moderator. So there we go. Alyssa Bentley is gonna replace Eric, because Eric doesn't have a PC anymore, so he can't really moderate from where he's at. I guess that's why he doesn't want to be a moderator anymore. So we'll replace him with Alyssa. Alyssa Bentley shall handle some of the moderating powers. And, because I've met her in person. She's a cool cat. You know what I'm saying? And I trust your solid judgment on certain things, like people with crazy usernames like that guy. That guy was in the chat. New Mexico Aquanics says, can you please discuss fert dosing? Our nitrates are consistently 30 parts per million. Should we dose Easy Green once a week, twice a week, or less? 29 gallon with 4 mollies, half planted, Fluval 3.0. Honestly, if you have your nitrates being pretty consistent, I would only be dosing fertilizer from what you have going on there. Wow. So there's like somebody who really doesn't like this. Somebody who really doesn't like us apparently is going to keep coming back. So I'm guessing whoever that person is just going to keep making accounts talking about nonsense. Okay. Well, either way. We'll move on and I guess just keep banning him and live the dream. Anyhow, so if your nitrates are at 30 parts per million, I would only be dosing from the setup that it sounds like you have there, I would be doing a water change once a week and be dosing once a week. That's basically what I would do. So that you can kind of set the way that you're doing it so that you are kind of, providing a little bit cleaner environment and just kind of setting consistency. And you can also start to figure out exactly what's going on with your tank. So if you do a water change, do a test, then do your dosing. I would realistically just keep going about it that way, because then you'll really start to be able to take note, figure out what you got going on, and get in a rhythm with your own system. You can get into a rhythm into your own system and just keep it healthy, and keep it healthy and keep it going, and really start to just become second nature with the tank that you're operating, because the biggest thing is that you're controlling an ecosystem. So you're sort of playing, and I can't think of a better way to put it. You're like the science lord or whatever, you're kind of the god figure, I guess, for that little ecosystem. And the best thing, in my opinion, is to start to learn just what to do once you've, you'd basically be getting in a rhythm with it, right? You basically get in a rhythm with that ecosystem, and then you're able to just, kind of respond to it by just basically looking at it, seeing what's happening. But a lot of that comes from having tested a lot. There we go. Let me see if I can get to the end of it. Man. Sometimes I realize that, I probably should sleep a little bit at some point in time, right? So, yeah, I guess that would basically be the thing. I would be doing water changes once a week, testing, and then adding fertilizer, and then testing, and slowly just getting in the rhythm of doing that. And plus, you're gonna garner a lot of information. And before you know it, eventually you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that needs a little fertilizer. Oh, this needs a little this needs a little that. Personally, I use the Easy Green nowadays because I used to do EI dosing, dry ferts, all that kind of crazy stuff. And it's just, to be 100% honest, it's a monumental waste of time. It really is one of those things. You're going to spend so much time messing around with it that it's really going to take away from your enjoyment. So things like fertilizer with products like the Easy Green make it more enjoyable, in my opinion. If you do want to go down that rabbit hole of dosing, making your own fertilizer from dry fertilizers and stuff, I can't say no if it's something that you want to learn about, but go into it knowing that that's what you're going to do. You're going to have to be going into it with the idea that you're going in to learn. It's going to be more work. It's essentially going to be a lot more work, and stuff like that. So if that's your plan, perfect. If not, then, it's the general stuff. KG Tropical says, wow, the drama even follows me into other live streams. Yeah, apparently. I don't know. It's just the internet, man. People make troll accounts and do whatever they got to do. As we know around here, there are a few people in the world that have a strong dislike for me. So yeah, it's not unexpected. It's really not unexpected. There are a lot of people who have giant raging anger, for, they're just mad at me, I guess. I don't know. I had some people scream in my face about how they were so mad that I'm friends with Corey, which I thought was kind of funny. Ultimately, I think it's just funny. I think it's funny that anybody would even really care. So at least we got that going for us, right? Infamous. Pete Berlinski's here. What is up, my man? Good to see you. Hey, 87, sorry if this is a repetitive question, but what are the best plants for a gravel-only tank? I'm trying to transition my 10-gallon from fake to planted, or should I go in and put dirt under gravel? First and foremost, I would say don't dirt your aquarium. If you are going to dirt your aquarium, first and foremost, go read the Wallstad, what's Wallstad's book? I can never remember it. Here we go. I'll find a link for her book, Ecology of the Planet Aquarium. That's why I always forget. It's much easier to just say the Wallstad method because, you know, Diana Wallstad is the one that came up with it. She has a published book about it, and that will be honestly the best bet if you want to go that route. If you want to go that direction with dirt, there's a link right there. Tells you step by step exactly how to do it. Personally, this is what I would do because I have a link right here to some Eco Complete, which is on super sale right now. I mean, it's $18.69 a bag with Prime shipping. So some, you know, whether it comes Amazon shipping or Postal Service or UPS or FedEx or whoever brings it is going to be super mad at when you order a whole bunch of bags. But that's one of the things I get alerted for whenever it drops down in price. Eco Complete for $18 is a pretty good deal. I would just go over there and order 30 of them if I were anybody. You know what I mean? If I was anybody. If I was anybody. If I was anybody. You know what I mean? I would go over there and get like 100 bags and then just have them for ready. You know what I mean? All right. Anyhow, so yeah, go get some Eco Complete or something like that. Pretty much any plant will grow in gravel as long as it's a root bound kind of plant that isn't necessarily, you know, pulling directly from the water column. But then again, water column plants will probably grow in gravel too. Now that I say that out loud, I'm finished saying that sentence. Yeah. You know, gravel's not a bad deal. You know, gravel isn't a bad substrate. It's just not the fantastic substrate. You know what I mean? And the way I go about it is like, I want success over, you know, saving $3 or something like that. You know what I mean? If a bag of Eco Complete is less than $20 and someone's going to bring it to my door, I don't even have to go anywhere. I would just redo the substrate personally. But if you don't want to do that, there are a lot of plants that you can just root into gravel, as long as you just hold them, you know, stuff their roots down in there just the same way. And then just make sure you are fertilizing the water column. There we go. There's my big problem. Because most plants can get fertilizers from the water column. But I find that, you know, heavy rooting plants are going to do a little bit better in gravel than not. It's really hot in here today. I don't know. Oh, I'm wearing an extra shirt. It's probably not helping. Let me see here. Daniel Tucker, hey, where would you consider the best place or a good place to order shrimp online? I only have a Petco available, and they're not very good at that. River Life says to check out Flip Aquatics. Hey, you know, I love Rob. I love Flip Aquatics, but I've never ordered anything from him. So I love Rob, and I love his videos, and I love all that stuff. I've never ordered anything from him, and I've never received anything from him. So I don't know. I would guess that they do pretty good. I almost always buy my shrimp locally because I do want to check them out if I get a chance, you know? Some of the shrimp I have right now, like all the cherry shrimp I have right now, I got from Potato down in Portland. He's one of the moderators on here. And there's also some shrimp that I stole from Chris Lukup's house. And I say stole with air quotes around it. I didn't steal them. He gave them to me. But some of the other shrimp I got are just kind of randos. I also got some shrimp from Kang Lee's house, which is Twin Cities Guppies, if you don't know. So just kind of letting them do their own thing and see how they're going to turn out before I make like a really in-depth video on them. Because I did get some really select shrimp, so I'm going to see how they breed or how they're doing. And before I really like go into making a ton of a video about them. Plus the 150, it's virtually impossible to locate like 20 specific shrimp because there's so many shrimp in there, so many plants, there's so many hiding spots that it's just very difficult to really film them. So I'm gonna have to get them out of hiding and find out what's going on, and hopefully if they start breeding like crazy, then there'll just be a lot in there and it'll be much easier to videotape. Let me see here. Andy and Carol, the beta. I use sand and liquid fertilizer. Works for me. I think dirt, if you know what you're doing, gives great results. Yeah, I think it does. It doesn't give consistent long-term results, though. It is really easy to upset and ruin a planted aquarium that has dirt in it at all. It just really is. And they work for a quick, like, you get pretty robust growth, but it's not going to be a long-term plan. There's just not a lot of examples of that out there, of being like, oh, here's a dirted aquarium that I've been running for 5 years somewhere. Oftentimes, they get completely overrun with algae. They're just not that stable. One of the reasons that I do recommend EcoComplete to people is that EcoComplete's made a type of substrate that's made that will essentially kind of last forever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not forever, but by the time it starts to break down, we're all going to be long dead. Fish Girl from Connecticut says, Joel, in this tank, in the video, is that EcoComplete or Fluval Stratum? That's actually Stratum. It's Fluval Stratum. It's Amazonia from ADA and fluorite sand. So yeah, but the new 120s do have some EcoComplete in them mixed with the Stratum. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't use EcoComplete. I certainly do. But one of the big downsides to EcoComplete is that the soil doesn't come amended with any kind of it really doesn't have anything to it when you start out. It does take time for it to sort of mature. You're going to have to add fertilizers, basically. Basically, the easy way to explain it, if you do set up a tank with nothing but EcoComplete, you are going to have to add fertilizers. But that's really not that big of a deal with how good the fertilizers are out there now. You know, if you went 10 years ago, be like really stressed out about how to like fertilize your aquarium. You know what I mean? So nowadays it's super easy. There's a bunch of brands out there. Like, maybe you don't like Aquarium Co-op. You could just go out there and you can order Thrive or Thrive Plus if that's what you really want. Totally cool. Colin's an awesome guy, so I would get it from him too. Tanner Ingram with a $2 super chat. Suggestions for breeding clown plecos. Clown plecos are just kind of a weird, aberrant fish that I have owned in the past. Breeding them is pretty easy as long as you provide enough wood for them. As long as they have enough wood to feed on and some cave system, you're going to be good. Amend with a little bit of other food included in it, but if you're doing that, you're going to be pretty good. Honestly, you're going to be pretty darn good if you're feeding some wood, which Repashy actually has a wood-based food nowadays that would go great to get the clown plecos to go. I don't have clown plecos anymore because they continually ruin my aquascapes like 100% with all their wood poop and, you know, mussing around and just being kind of a messy fish. But I do love clown plecos. They're super awesome. So mad respect if you're trying to breed them and get some more out there. I think I would go for it. Can you explain what you were doing with the red plant in front and why? So that red plant there is some Alternanthera renekii variegated mini, right? It's splitting, and so I'm actually breaking the plant apart and replanting them in to make them into individual plants and just kind of relocate them a little bit. So I want them to fill in and kind of go in this direction. There are a bunch of really bright plants that you guys can notice, and let me turn the... I wonder if I can zoom in on this. Enhance. Either way, I got the whiteboard. And you can see them down here. See these really bright plants right here? Those are actually those those flamingo crypts. So you can see how bright pink they are. Like there's one, and then there's a bunch here, and a bunch here, and a bunch here. There's another one like down here. And so you can see how bright they actually are. They're super bright pink. As I mentioned, when I got them, I had a bit of a problem bringing them back here because I had put them in the undercarriage of the plane, apparently, unbeknownst that Southwest doesn't heat their luggage compartment at all, so which is weird because that's unexpected because most companies do that now. Because boy howdy, when they got out, they were like icy, icy, icy. So they kind of are in recovery, and I'm going to have to. I am just like nursing them back to health. And once they're doing healthy and doing well, I'll shoot a video on those and let you guys know how they're going. But they're just out in the front right there, mainly because I can see them really well and see what they're doing. So I'm just got them under observation and just see how it's going. Quick question here: how can you get oxygen without using CO2 in your tank? I'm wondering, did you? Is that question like backwards or something? Get oxygen into your tank is super easy. We're lots of oxygen in our air. All you have to do is add an air stone, agitate the water. Easy, super easy. Plants will, and as plants photosynthesize at night, they gas off oxygen. Or sorry, during the day. When they photosynthesize, they take a carbon from the CO2, they capture a carbon and combine it with something else. And once they do that, what's left? The O2. It'll gas off the O2. So, sorry, I don't mean to. It's hot in here, and I haven't slept in a long time. And I keep thinking about going over to the Patreon questions. And I was trying to gear up for this move right here. But I didn't really know where I was supposed to be going. I didn't know where the thing was. As you guys know, on Fridays I typically take some time out of the show. Let me see. On Fridays, we take time out of the show to highlight some of the community tab on the Patreon page. It's as little as $1 a month to become a Patreon. Like I said, it's a monthly charge. So it's a bunch of people at $5 a month, $10 a month, stuff like that. But there's a lot of people at $1 a month. And if you think that's worthwhile for me showing up here for hours and hours and hours a month to talk to you guys about, fish tank stuff and fish and the babies and all sorts of crazy stuff that's going on. If you think that's worthwhile, you can go ahead and chip in there. And one of the things I do is answer the questions here on Fridays, typically is when that comes on. I want to answer a question from the chat real quick. Twin Red Dragons Brewery, Corvus, the book Ecology of the Planted Aquarium is dear in the UK. Are you using to show on YouTube? I'm confused. Oh, I think he's asking two questions there. Are you using OBS to show on YouTube? No, I use XSplit. XSplit is the program I use. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what that was. I don't use OBS. I don't personally like OBS. Randall says when he's agitated, I guess off methane. Mad props. I do that too. So does my baby. Olympia does that a lot. She takes after her daddy. Okay, Olympia Shrimps, longtime supporter, throwing down a 40-gallon breeder here. It's not even a question. It's just check out this awesome 40 breeder and respect. When I get this chance to see a good tank, I like it. I have a good time. I have a good time when I get to see some good tanks, and that is a good tank right there. And, yeah. Olympia Shrimps also sent in this picture of the Fluval Flex 15 with the crypts going wild in there. Those are mega. I'm digging. If you got crypts going crazy, I'm a big fan. And if you guys can't tell, I'm a big fan of Olympia Shrimps, Shrimperton. I'm a big, big, big fan. Anybody from just south of where I'm at, hats off to you. I don't have anything to do with Panera Bread, but this happens to be a Panera Bread coffee I'm drinking today. Alyssa Bentley, recently crowned, help us out moderating the chat. I don't know. Seems like she left. Doesn't seem like she's chatting anymore. Oh, there she is. No, never mind. Give her a hard time. Said, I have a few Endler fry showing up looking almost leucistic. Am I saying that right? Probably wrong. I'm keeping an eye on them. They've survived over. I'm gonna look this up. I can't hang out. I can't hang out and not have looked this up. Can you guys see my Google search here? Leucism, on the other hand, is a partial loss of pigmentation, which can make the animal have white or patchy colored skin, hair, feathers, and so on, but the pigment cells in the eyes are not affected by the condition. Leucism is often mistaken for albinism, but they are two very different conditions. Okay, so it's like being an albino kind of situation, but it's different because it keeps the eyes. Oh, the eyes. There we go. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm digging it. I like that. I'm glad we learned that today. And when I say we, I mean I, because you guys probably already knew that. Props to you. You guys are all wicked smart. Wicked smart, these Oceanese. You know what I mean? Hey. Have you seen something like this before? Most of the babies are gray. I've definitely seen this before when I've had other strains mate with my black bar endlers like this. So it could be a recessive gene of like a cobra endler or some kind of yellow guppy or any other kind of weird colored guppy or whatever has bred with the endler, and this is kind of what I've seen throw from the endlers when they were bred with other stuff. You know what I mean? They had other color variant fish breed with them, and that's the kind of stuff that ends up happening, honestly. You just get these babies that are kind of weird colored. I would just wait and see until they grow up. Considering their, life period is not that long, it probably will be a month and a half before we're like, oh, we got a good idea what's going on here. They definitely could be some kind of albino variant, but typically what I've seen this is if like cobra endlers or something like that bred with the black bars. So that's when I've seen that the most. Kelly Preston chiming in onto the community said, I had a monthly Aquarium Society meeting this week and ended up buying some Spixie snails, Asalone Spixie, in a BAP auction because they were reported to eat pest snails, and my beta's display tank is a place where I want to eliminate bladder snails. Turns out they have an even better skill. They eat blackbeard algae. I think this is even better than eating pest snails. Oh my God. If that's the case, send them all to me. If that happens, Kelly, let me know if that is the case. Because if that is the case, let me know. Send me all of them. We're gonna breed them and we're gonna put them in everyone's tank in the world. And we should rid the world of blackbeard algae. That's just what we should do. We should just do that, and we'll all be happy, and the whole world would be happy. Everyone would be happy. Nathaniel John writing in, asking some questions about some aquarium safety. So we got to think about safety here, guys, when it's a safety type question, right? He says, 55-gallon rimless. So I just got a free 55-gallon tank, but the center brace is broken. It's tempered glass, so I'm wondering if I can just remove the top rim safely, or should I try to epoxy the center brace back together? All right, first things first, we need to understand what happens with tempered glass whenever it gets pressure applied to it. Have you ever seen a broken window in your car? That's tempered glass. That's what happens. It goes and breaks, shatters, explodes, turns into these tiny little bits. And if it's holding back water, welcome to the world of water all over your floor and probably some dead fish, and we don't want that. That's the opposite of what we want. I don't really care if you guys want to spray water all over your floor, but let's not kill things. Let's not kill things that don't need to be killed. You know, blackbeard algae, of course, needs to be killed. So that's fine. But let's not kill any fish or anything like that just because of this deal. Now, 55-gallon tanks are renowned for being the least engineered of all of the tank sizes out there. They're sort of like too much water, volume, not enough glass, not enough good silicone work, any of that kind of stuff. That's why it has those big braces on it. If you wanted to go rimless with a tank that you could de-rim, I would go with a 40 breeder. Personally, if that's what I was going to do, I would almost never remove the rims from a 55-gallon unless I was like completely taking it apart. Okay, let me rephrase that. I would take the stuff off of it if I was taking it apart. I would never fill an aquarium, a 55-gallon that had no rim on it. I would never fill it with water. There we go. Unless I wanted water all over the place. They're just not stable enough to handle that, and the chances of just getting water all over the place is just way too high. So I would epoxy the center brace back together if you're wanting to run this tank as a tank. M-Howie9 says, couldn't you put a glass center brace on the top? Yes, but if this is an entirely tempered glass tank, not a great idea. Because that would still bow a little bit. You want to brace the actual brace, the frame at the top. You want to somehow tie that back together. I've done it even the most ghetto way. I cut a big piece of acrylic and drilled holes and like bolted that thing back together. And Kiwi says you could Euro brace them. Yes, you can. It's a ton of work for realistically not a nicer setup. So I just wouldn't, I just wouldn't bother with it. I would just fix the bracing at the top and just run it like a 55. And with the $1 a gallon sale, like you'd be out $50, $60 plus tax, 60, let's call it $65 after tax and all that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't risk it regarding that it's just kind of a small amount of money to just get a brand new one. You know what I mean? So, we've gotten to the top with M-Howie9, Mr. Mike Howie himself, a.k.a. Dad Van, a.k.a. He's going to show up, a.k.a. Let's go get some barbecue, a.k.a. Ed Who 9. Let's go eat some barbecue. If you guys don't know, M. Howie and I, it's our thing, man. We're going to go get barbecue. Now, here's the problem. New Jersey doesn't really have any barbecue, so we're going to have to consider our options on the next thing that we go to. I think the next big thing that if anybody was wanting to meet me at a convention or any of that kind of stuff, I would say the American Gardeners Association is going to be the one for sure that I'm going to go to next year. I will be at that one for sure. It's March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I think. And I will be there, and I'm planning on doing something fun for it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm planning on doing something fun for it. And that will be the one that I'll be at. And I hope that Mike gets a chance to make his way out here because we can go get some awesome barbecue. Know what I'm saying? We can go to some of the old school barbecue joints out here because I kind of know where they are. And I know how to get there. And I know how to be there. And I know how to do it right. So, but anyhow, one of the big things about M-Howie9 that's been going on is that he's been breeding clownfish. And I'm so excited by that. I have to admit, I'm always excited when people are breeding either really difficult freshwater fish or saltwater fish, because saltwater fish are just hard to breed. It's just not easy. And we got a bit of an update here on the clownfish fry update. There are two things going on with the clownfish. First of all, he's transitioned the fry off of the rotifiers and onto the powdered food, which is crazy, and things are going well. Secondly, we had another batch of eggs. The fish spawned about a week ago, and I moved them to the hatching container last night. Above the picture is the second set of eggs, and this is awesome, man. I mean, to be honest with you guys, one of the things that I find to be so exciting about freshwater fish, or saltwater fish getting bred, is that aquacultured, aka bred in an aquarium, saltwater fish are so much healthier than wild caught. So, and I just would like to discourage the wild caught saltwater fish. It's just not a great practice. And if we could get more people breeding some of these awesome saltwater fish, they're super hardy. They do really well in aquariums once they've been born and raised in aquariums. And I just see more people doing this kind of stuff, and it excites me. I don't know. So kudos, and I'm very, very excited, and I think it's cool. So, I hope you guys think it's cool, because it's kind of a fun Friday show. And we are coming up on the end of the show. I know you guys are used to me being here for hours and hours and hours and hours. But today, I got appointments, I got things I got to do, I got to get a whole bunch of stuff done. I don't know if anybody's picked up on it or clued into the fact that we got a baby here, and we got a bunch of baby stuff to do. So, I'm going to pop into the chat here, and we're going to quick fire answer as many questions as I possibly can, and I'll let you know if I don't know what's up. So, feel free to post something in the chat. Feel free to go over to Patreon and support the show if you want to support the show. If you don't have to. The Aquarium Co-op has a massive sale going on all month, and finally, filters, those sponge intake, the intake sponges, those are on sale. I highly recommend people to go fill up on those and get those before they get sold out, because those will get sold out, and people will start asking me about the intake filter, the pre-filter sponge intake things, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know. Why did you email me? And they're like, because the Aquarium Co-op doesn't have any. And I'm like, it's pretty wild. I don't, So, just I would just remind people that the sponge filters are on sale. Power filters, got a Phoenix canister filters on sale. Let's see. Aqua Clears. He has the 20s, the 30s, and the 50s Aqua Clears, which those are my favorite hang-on back filter of all time. And I still do own some, even though I have gigantic sumps on all my tanks. So, definitely check that out. Intake sponges, filter media, all that kind of stuff is on sale. As always, you know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to, where'd that thing go? Oh, come on now. What is this goofy thing? Hold on. Just as always, follow the, what do you call it? Follow the affiliate link, which is in the chat right now, and just, help support your bro here if you're going to go buy something. If not, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Andy and Carol says, great show. Last one out. Unplug the internet. Yeah, turn out the lights. Fish Haven, which shrimp breeds best? Cherry shrimp would probably be the best. Neocaridina would be the best. The Mighty Wassassin says, how would a person protect the air ducts on the first floor from water if a tank broke? The air ducts? Like in the floor? Do you mean like the what's that called? The hot air register? Like the register in the floor? Boy, man, that's kind of an interesting question. I don't know how you would do that if you have like central air registers in the floor. I think water would just end up going down there. But if you do get water in the air ventilation, air ducts and stuff like that, then you need to make sure that your furnace is working properly and is hooked up to a proper humidity sensor. And then you can just run that thing and it'll actually clear out the vents and stuff like that. Whereas water in between the floorboards and that kind of thing is going to be a more extensive project that I could do, but it would be difficult for me to explain it pretty quickly. But if you do get some water into the HVAC ducts or anything like that, it's not going to be a monster huge problem unless you unless you dumped like 20 gallons directly down You know what I mean? I guess if you got just a little bit of water down there, not going to be the worst deal. You would just want to stop water from going all the way down to the furnace. Other than that, water on that actual piping itself and stuff like that wouldn't damage it because it's, what's the word I'm looking for here? You know what I mean. What is that ducting made out of? I can't think of it right now. Same stuff gutters are made out of. Galvanized. Yeah, it's galvanized, I think, so it should be fine. Interest on the air ducts. I had my kids drop soap into my sump from the upstairs bathroom. Oh, my God. That is crazy. KG, Dan, can you try to go with a lot of rock work and try it at Mabuna since they are cheap? I know it's mixing lakes, but I've seen it work. Where'd that go? Who was he asking? Inherited one, and he started eating the other fish, so he's now on his own. Huh. Well, that's a long line of questioning. I'm not sure. Sorry about that, guys. Sharpies models and aquatics. Would dwarf gourami and apistogrammas get on okay in the same tank? 50-gallon-ish, heavily planted. Dwarf gourami and apistos. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I would say mostly, but not the worst deal ever. I had apistos and gouramis in the same tank a long time ago. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Zinc galvanized. That's what it is. It's zinc. It's not steel. Zinc, right? I think. Woo! You know. Let's see. The Mighty Wassassin says, how could you stop it from going completely down? Other than it being some kind of cover over it or something like that, it's gonna. I don't know. I don't know how to. Just don't dump a ton of water down. I think realistically would probably be the biggest thing to do there. It's not something I typically work on construction or building houses or commercial spaces or anything like that. So it's really difficult for me to give you some great advice as far as like to keep the water from going down there. But I mean, if you do get a little bit of water down there, like I said, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. If you have a humidity controller on your furnace and a working furnace, it should dry out a little bit of water that get down there. Fish Haven, guppies with shrimp. Yeah, I normally do. Just not expensive shrimp, honestly. Sounds rude or whatever, but really high-end shrimp, no, because really high-end shrimp shouldn't be really with any fish, just because of the off chance if like a $50 shrimp gets eaten by a guppy, it's going to be a little bit, I don't care who you are going to be a little bit upset. But 50-cent cherry shrimps, if they get eaten by a guppy every once in a blue moon, it's not that traumatizing. So I would normally keep like cherry shrimp and stuff like that with guppies. And cherry shrimp like that water, too. Their water is pretty close to what guppies want. A little bit of extra minerals in them. Alyssa says, is it relatively easy to tell a boy from girl apistos? My male decided to go for a walk on my carpet. Oh, that sucks. I hate it when they fish jump like that. A male from female? Yes, it is very easy to tell. It's very easy to tell the difference in apistogrammas, for sure. Steve Horton says, what are the biggest upside between a firm Metalla filter pad compared to a more flexible filter pad material? I use the Metalla mat to keep the flexible filter material in place. Metalla mat doesn't really do anything for filtering, honestly. You can get into some of the really fine Metalla mat, which will do some filtering, but then you pretty much need a pressure washer type situation to clean it. So a gigantic pain in the butt. The filter pad material that I use on a regular basis that I'm sure you guys have seen me replace like a million times now. It's blue on one side, white on the other side. Let me see if I can grab you guys a link for it. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Ah, there it is. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here's the one. I literally, like, every time I click on this link, it's like, you've ordered this lots of times. And I'm like, yeah, I certainly have. So I buy it like this as a roll and just cut it into the sizes that I want and then just dispose of it once it's kind of used up. It is sort of a biodegradable-ish material. I don't know. I'm not the developer or anything like that. I know that throwing away stuff kind of sucks, but it's just kind of the best way I've been able to figure it out. Coconut wool never worked. Nothing that was 100% biodegradable ever really worked that well. Metalamat is kind of rigid and doesn't really do a lot for filtering unless it's like a really big pond system or something like that. Whew. Zombie Drummer, 50 cents would be awesome. Local fish store had cherry shrimp for $6 today. Oh. Cherry shrimp sell for $6. When you sell them to a store, you're probably getting 50 cents. That's what I'm saying. So I would bear that in mind, you guys. That's what I mean by 50-cent cherry shrimp. Bonsai says, great show, gotta go. Alvin Alejo, what's up, my guy? And before we get to the end of the show here, I wanted to say sorry to Malini Victor. Malini Victor, if you are here and you see the end of the show, I didn't realize that your name is not Victor Malini. It's actually Malini Victor. Thank you very much for the blanket and whatnot. And apologies for getting your name backwards. I don't know why I thought your name was Victor Malini. I just thought in my head somehow that name made more sense flipped around. And I was like, oh, maybe it just went the other way or something. You know what I mean? And I'm just confused, right? Turns out it's Malini Victor. So, thank you very much for the blanket. It's super awesome, and I know that Olivia will be using it in the future. She's too young right now for a wide knitted blanket, but thanks a lot. Alvin says they sell cherry shrimp here in Korea for $1. Yeah, probably. Sounds about right. Korea doesn't even really need to import cherry shrimp. They're basically there, so that makes sense. There's probably a lot of collectors out there or a lot of farms out there, I would imagine. Dan Squires with the £5 super chat says, yeah, clearly the super chat button is broken for sure. 100% not working. It only works if you put money in there. I think that's how that thing works. Ali Sten says it's hard to tell when they are small, though. If you are going to Wet Spot, they will help you for sure. They are great. Yes, the Wet Spot in Portland is a fantastic store. I love that store. Anytime I'm in Portland, I try to make my way over there. It is a great place and definitely worth your stop. If you're shopping online, I recommend the Wet Spot if you guys are ordering fish. They will probably have it. They will ship it to you really nicely. They don't rip you off on shipping. I remember, I ordered from Live Aquaria a while ago, and when I say a while ago, I mean 8 years ago or something like that, and they charged $45 for shipping. And then, I think about 3 months later, I ordered from the Wet Spot, and their shipping was $11, and I was like, what is going on here? And they were like, yeah, we set the rate to how much it actually is going to cost, which I appreciate that. And they always do great stuff, and I've always gotten great stuff from them. So mad props to those guys. I don't have anything to do with them. I'm just a huge fan, and I've always gotten treated really well by them. So I would definitely go with it. Uv Loriak says, I received some foams today. 2 different density. Time to upgrade some of my filters. Have a nice Friday. Ooh, that is good times. I like that. That is good times. Twin City Corvus, is that the same filter media you put in co-op sump you made? Yeah, I think so. I think we did the same kind. That same company, PuroClean, they make an all white one, which this one right here. Hold on, let me get the link. They have an all white one right here that is just fines. That's all that one will get. So it is a little bit I understand it. It's a little confusing. What's my phone doing? Right? It's my jam, dog. I realized that was set. I set this alarm because the baby Olivia was born at 4:20 a.m., which is hilarious. And I think I had that alarm set to the 4:20 p.m. because we needed to know 12 hours later. And let me go ahead, and I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Sorry about that, guy. Sorry about that, guys. We're a little impromptu dance break. Alvin Alejo, $5 super chat for the baby college fund. Got to start early. Good point. Good point. I'm going to try to figure out how to get her into a trade school, I think that's how that's going to go. Matthew Vision with a $5 super chat says, congrats on the baby. Here's to the coffee fund. I'll admit, we've been drinking a lot of coffee around here. We did before anyhow, and, that's how it goes. All right, guys. I got to end the show here because I hear that the baby needs some changing. She's going to be waking up here in just a second. And I want to say a big thanks to everybody, everybody. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your patience. Obviously, things are going to be kind of slowing down and do my best to, continue doing my best here on the YouTubes and getting stuff out to you guys. We shall see. 2019 is coming, and I'm hoping for some really cool projects to be coming along to try and get out to you guys. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to be doing some aquascaping with the baby once she's big enough. I'll probably just use her as a scape tool. You know what I mean? Like use her to move the substrate around, right? But Chad Krotz, Rum Bust, Zombie Drummer, Tanner Ingram, Dan Squires, Matthew Vision, Alvin Alejo, thank you guys for your super chats on top of the whole ding dang thing. Appreciate it a lot. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic weekend. I'll see if I can't get I think we have some edited videos that might be finished and I might be able to upload them and see if we can't do that over the weekend for you guys. But have a great weekend out there. Don't go totally crazy. Don't shoot off any fireworks. Don't do any burnouts in any four-way uncontrolled intersections. So, at least make sure that there's a traffic signal or something there so that the other traffic can be stopped, and then you do your burnouts, and then it's all legit and no one gets hurt, right? Don't forget the Aquarium Co-op's got a big old sale going on, so make sure you use the affiliate link if you're going to go through there and buy some of that stuff. Mad props to those guys. Thanksgiving is coming up next week, so it's going to be weird for everybody, but hang in there. Have a good time, and do what you got to do. Later.